to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. And I think I might have offended him because he hasn't been in a while. So we're going to still we'll still heckle him just a little bit, but I guess I better be a little more sensitive. Brent Humpherys is in the house. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back after, a couple months?
I don't know. It's been too long. Something with, I guess maybe just didn't, I've got a face for radio, so I do tend to scare people off every once in a while. So we'll just continue watching what is going on. But let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We are celebrating today. We do that every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Let's see if we can figure out what we're celebrating, though. This one is going to make a whole lot of people extremely ill. And I don't know if I can even find the right sound effect for, there we go. It's got this one perfectly situated. Today is National Compliance Officer Awareness Day.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Yeah. And Brent, we were talking about this one before the broadcast started this morning. Today is National Shamu the Whale Day today.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, how many people grew up with Shamu? I mean, I used to love going down to SeaWorld. I guess it's not going to be quite the same place without having Shamu there, or once the Shamu events change. But holy cow, that used to be one of the greatest shows on Earth. Of course, I guess that was Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, so I don't know whether we can say that SeaWorld had one of the greatest shows on Earth, but I think it was. National Women's Health and Fitness Day. Okay, well, we won't say anything about that one. Situational Awareness Day. I get myself in trouble. Finally got down to the part where I think it's stuff that's more along my lines. National Pancake Day. Yeah, I like that one. We're going to go get pancakes. And on top of that, I thought I saw a National Dumpling Day. Can you have pancakes and dumplings at the same time? I don't know if that one really works, but we'll have to check that out. Markets, what's going on in the markets today? I got this new phone, so I can't even figure out what is going on in the markets. Eventually, I'll figure some of these things out. Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's up 44, can't even speak either. 45 points. Oil down 53 cents a barrel. The 10-year Treasury down just a little bit at 3.08. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We'll get into that in the mortgage minute. Other news items of interest. I like starting at the bottom of the list. There were some interesting things. Bill Cosby. Wow. Can you imagine now? Here's the judge here must have been a Cosby fan, and I'm not saying that with any disrespect, but I found it fascinating when you listen to the way the sentencing went, how this judge did this. Now, this is fascinating to me because the judge sentenced Mr. Cosby 3 to 10 years. Now, what does 3 to 10 years mean in the concept of this sentencing? Well, here's the issue. You have to serve 85% of your sentence But the judge said 3 to 10 years. So what does that mean? If they said 10 years, well, that would mean he has to serve 8.5 years. If they say 3 to 10, well, then it becomes the prison system that makes the determination as to how long Mr. Cosby stays in jail. So I think the judge was kind of just punting on this one, saying that he wasn't going to deal with it, let somebody else handle it. Is that the way it should be done? I don't know, but that's the way the system works. Sad day, sad day. And it's, to me, I'm going to just throw this out there because I can, is some of these issues, when you look at an issue like this, and one of the biggest things in a lot of the news coverage right now, and it doesn't matter whether you're watching Fox News, MSNBC, Hee Haw, the local news stations, doesn't matter what you're watching, they're talking about the Kavanaugh events. And it diminishes the legitimacy, in my opinion, of something like what was Bill Cosby did. And why would I say that? Well, Judge Kavanaugh has been found guilty of absolutely nothing. There's no charges been brought. Did he do it? I don't know. I wasn't there. You don't know. You weren't there. Right? The only ones that really know whether this is all accurate or not are the accuser and the accused. Other than that, who really knows? Or could it just be that Dianne Feinstein's attorney knows? Oh, wait a second. Her attorney also is in the same office as Dr. Ford's attorney. I wonder if there's any conflict of interest there. That you're not hearing that part in the mainstream media. But again, and it's an attorney named Katz. I don't remember her first name. But you can do the research on your own. I don't want to tell you that George Soros is paying for the attorney fees and all of this. We wouldn't say that either. But here's the issues, is what Mr. Cosby did, very, very serious, and nobody should be subjected to that. But what's going to happen the next time? I heard a lady this morning, very, very active in the feminist movement, and self-identifies as a lesbian lady. Shouldn't matter in the least. But her comment was, within the groups that she works with, a lot of these things are causing problems. Men don't want to go out after hours to a happy hour with female colleagues. They don't want to go to lunch or go to dinner, as many do in business with female colleagues. They don't want to be anywhere close. So is this helping the cause or hurting the cause? And again, I don't have daughters, I've got nieces, and I wouldn't want any one of them subjected to the things that Mr. Cosby's been convicted of. But I also have sons, and I wouldn't want them to be run through the ringer like Judge Kavanaugh. Now, if he's guilty, something, he should be tried, he should be convicted. But not by you, not by me, not by some other media outlet. It should be in a court of law. That's our United States system. And all of this other malarkey that goes on in Congress, what kind of an example are they setting for society? And I know that this is a radio broadcast and we do mostly home and finance, but something, this affects business, and we talk about business all the time, and we're going to talk this morning with Brent Humpherys about a work-life balance. And I think this is a big issue in the work-life balance, because how do we get to a balanced world when we have to talk to our kids about issues along these lines? Don't go out and socialize with colleagues at work. Be careful of what you're doing when you're in high school. Now, we tell our kids that all the time, but let me ask you this question. Did you do anything during your high school or college years that you probably wouldn't want to have on the front page of the LA Times? Well, I guess you can't say the LA Times because no one reads it. Maybe you wouldn't want to have it in the trending section of Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, right? I know for a fact I did. There were things that I did that, I was a young man at the time going out there. I didn't think that, who knew that we were going to have a society like this where everything was public? Are you telling your kid, are you having these conversations with your kids? What kind of conversations are you having with your kids about these issues? I'm just saying that it's that we don't want them, and I've said this before, that anybody that did not know that there was a casting couch in Hollywood for decades, yeah, you must have been living in some other planet. I don't know where it was, but you must have been living in another planet. And think about this other side of it. Women have certain skills, I should say, that, they use those to the best of their ability. Men have skills that they use to the best of their ability. Is it wrong to use your skills to the best of your ability? And I'm going to throw this out there for you to consider. Football players go out and make a lot of money for their families, knowing that the average lifespan of a male in America is about 80 years old, and the average lifespan of a football player is 58. Think about that. They're giving up 25 or 30 years of life for giving up with their body and what they do because of their decision. Is that wrong? I'll leave that to you. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the work-life balance, we will chat about that with our in-studio guest, Brent Humpherys. He's got a very interesting perspective, a personal perspective, so we're going to chat with him about that thought. The cost of not paying private mortgage insurance. So you're frozen your credit. We talked about that yesterday. What is next? And is a fixer-upper home worth the investment? Talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products for you. Give us a call at 800-306-1990. Even if you don't think you qualify for a loan, it might not be the case. Give me a call, 800-306-1990. And even tell this to my friend Brent here. Just got a new domain name, Dr. Loan Saver. So that'll be the fun one. So that our friends at Gold Star Mortgage will be happy to see that one. What's happening in the markets? Dow Jones down or up 53 points. Oil down 45 cents a barrel. And when we look at the bond market, that is the biggie. We like to know, obviously, what is happening, but more importantly, why is it happening? So we're looking at the Fannie Mae 30-year bond up 9 basis points. I should have an applause meter here, just because that means interest rates are down a little bit today. The U.S. 10-year Treasury down 2 basis points on the yield. I'd like to see that going down a little bit, but you know something? It's all hocus pocus right now because of the time of day, and as we broadcast right here, right now, it is about 9 o'clock in Southern California, 9:30 in Southern California, and at 11 o'clock today is when we're going to get the big news. That is when we'll be hearing from the Federal Reserve, so that is going to be not the fact that they're going to raise interest rates by 1/4 point, not your mortgage rate. They don't affect mortgage rates. They deal with the short-term rate, the Fed funds discount rate. That's what banks borrow at. Now, that will then affect prime rate. Prime will go up, which will affect your home equity line of credit. That'll go up. Those are all things that the Federal Reserve is doing. They'll do that today. They might even do it again in December. What we want to know is what comes from the commentary from the Federal Reserve after the meeting. So when we hear from Jerome Powell later today, there could be some market moving activity at that time. We do know, though, the Mortgage Banker Association reported mortgage application volume increased by 2.9% last week. So when you hear the news saying, well, real estate's not selling, well, mortgage applications went up by 2.9%, and refis are dropping. They're not going up. So what do you think that would mean? If refis are going down, but the overall number is going up, that means more houses are selling. The average 30-year mortgage increased to the highest in 7 years, 4.97. Now, that's not the Freddie Mac number. That comes out tomorrow. That was from 4.88, so it's up about 9 basis points in the last week, almost 1 full percentage point from last year this time. Wow. So we've been talking to you about interest rates going up, and yeah, Ron, you've been saying that forever. Well, not forever, but several years now. It's happened, and if you didn't listen to us, you should have. Sorry. Median home price reported $320,200, up 1.9% year over year. Please remember, that is the annual number, or the national number. That does not mean that in La Jolla, California, you can buy a median-priced home for $320,000. Might be your down payment, but I don't think you can buy the house for that. Things have been moderating. Inventory has been growing. There were 318,000 new homes for sale, which represents a 6.1-month supply, the highest level in the year. Remember, 6 months is considered balanced, so we're kind of shifting from that seller's market to more of a balanced number, and we'll share all these numbers, and we might even put a visual on our social media channels later today. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. This morning we had a very, very fascinating topic because I hear about this on a regular basis. I like to bring you the best of the best. That's why Brent Humpherys is here. So we're going to chat a little bit about a work-life balance. And I've been doing seminars around Southern California for real estate professionals in the real estate community. It's called time management. And Brent's got a very fascinating story because he's one of the most successful real estate agents in Southern California, but he does his work in 6 days a week. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
So here's the concept, Brent. I mean, I've shared this with several people. I'm going to go to a 10,000 foot level, and then I'm going to bring it back down a little bit.
Okay.
So from the 10,000 foot level, the vast majority of us, if we choose to go on vacation, the week before vacation, what is it that we do?
Cram
everything. Right, so
you're gonna think I had the notes.
Yeah, exactly.
That was an easy one.
So a friend of mine says I take a vacation every other week, and he legitimately has blocked off on his calendar. The first thing he does every year when he does his planning is blocks every other week off for vacation. So what does he do the weeks that he's working? Twice as much as everybody else.
Correct.
Right? You can't. There's no free lunch. You got to get the work done. But you've made the decision that Sundays are not a day of work.
Correct.
So how do you deal with that in an industry that most people say we work Saturday and Sunday those are our busiest days?
Well, it's taken years to figure it out. It's not an easy thing to do, but I've deliberately worked at it and worked at it and worked at it. And my family, I'm a third generation real estate broker in California, so I've grown up under this. I've seen work on Sundays. I've seen reasons not to work on Sundays, and over the years it's been very, very difficult. But I've put a process in place that is working, and no pun intended, it's not working. And for probably, I'd say, about 8 or 9 years, I have faithfully unplugged from a smartphone and text messages and email and voicemail, and literally told every single client in the interview when I'm in their living room talking about listing their home, or a buyer that may only have weekends off to look at properties, if you need me on Sunday, I'm not the right person, but I have people for you. But I can't work on Sunday. And I will tell you that, this isn't, some self-righteous thing. I don't think I'm better than other people who do work on Sunday and I don't.
Sure.
I feel tremendously blessed to have finally been able to pull this off. I've had a number of agents contact me and say, how is it that you do it? Is that crazy? What are your clients saying? What do you say to them? And so I thought it might be fun, when you asked me to come in last night, that maybe I'd put something together with actually an outline, which I've never typed up, of some of the key ways I actually do this and succeed, where it doesn't come back to bite me in the backside.
And that's a fascinating part, because I mean I've shared before that in my religion it's Saturdays, right? Mm-hmm. So I know there's people in various parts of the country that from Friday sundown till Saturday sundown, they're in the same boat as you. They're unplugged. They actually don't go on a boat, so it couldn't be in the same boat as you. But right, they walk to temple, and they do no work at all. And I've said to them many times, I said, "What do you feel the effect is on your business?" And they tell me that it enhances their business.
It truly does.
Does it? Okay, so explain that a little bit.
Well, first of all, I love that you mentioned that. So it's all based upon the 10 commandments, right? The fourth commandment: remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath day to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your animals, nor your foreigner residing in your town. So this is actually in Exodus 20, right?
Right.
The Judeo-Christian heritage, right? The first national day of rest declaration for animals. Think about that. Even the animals weren't supposed to work. But the idea is, look, we all have our smartphones, right?
Right.
We're always tethered. And what happens at the end of the day when you look, you swipe down, you're at, 8%. You woke up at
I didn't say swipe right. I don't even know what that means, but I know that there's...
Imagine if you swipe down, or swipe up or whatever.
Right.
Based upon your phone. And you see that your battery is it's going red now, and you've got to turn on battery saver or whatever your app is. You know that instinctively you got to plug the phone back in. We all know this with our phones, but we don't always know this or practice this with our bodies. We need to have rest. I'm so blessed. I love real estate. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's fun. My dreams are often real estate transactions, or ones that I've had or ones that I haven't. A few times I get a nightmare, but I'm sure there's a therapist for that.
Right.
But the point is that I absolutely love what I do.
There's an app for that.
There probably is. I love what I do, but you can't work 24/7 without burning out. And
it's fascinating because in the time management seminars that we've been doing, that's one of the things we talk about is you've got to put in our process, we call it yellow time, right? Vacations, family, religion, if that's what you choose, but it's basically recharge time. Mm-hmm. Maybe you go to the gym every day for an hour. Well, you just put that on your calendar. In your case, you may go to the gym every day, but you've got Sunday is completely yellow, so you can spend that time, and I admire that, watching you over the years that we've been friends, and you've been coming on the broadcast with us, that, something, if it's something that's on Sunday, I'll reach out to you Monday morning.
Yeah.
Right? And in fact, ironically enough, this weekend we kind of crossed paths because there was something that you wanted information-wise, and I just figured because I didn't get it. You sent it Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday evening. Mm-hmm.
And I happened to be away, at dinner, and I don't have the phone always, turned on at that time. It'd be pretty rude of me to be sitting in a restaurant and have my phone blowing up. So I figured, okay, well, I didn't see it. It's too late to call Brent back. I'll just wait till Monday because I've been trained.
Right, yeah. And that's the key. Well, I don't want to say train clients because many of my clients listen to this broadcast, but I think people always say, how do you do this, right? The idea is that
respect.
Well, it's so countercultural to take one day off and completely be inaccessible. But if you set the expectation up front, look, I'm going to hustle for you 6 days a week. I'm going to work like a crazy fool and give you everything I have. But one day I need to set aside to rest and be with my family. If you set that expectation, people don't get upset for broken expectations when their expectation is in alignment with yours. You've let them know. I'm sure that
You've actually done something rather unique, is you told people what you're going to do and you did it.
Right.
Isn't that surprising? Right? And there's some other companies that are out there doing that. We're going to chat more with Brent Humpherys about this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. The cost of not paying PMI, we will chat about it. Is a fixer-upper home worth the investment? We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1, on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The cost of not paying private mortgage insurance. I get this one all the time because people think there's two things that are real big misconceptions in the marketplace. One big misconception is PMI is horrible. Now, I've heard a couple of radio programs talking about how bad PMI is. The other one that I hear is points are horrible, never ever pay points. I'm going to dispel both of those myths, but right now, how about the issue of private mortgage insurance and saving for a down payment? So usually it's one of the biggest hurdles I hear of for first-time home buyers, as median incomes, rents, and home prices all vary depending upon where you live. There is a common misconception among home buyers that a 20% down payment is required, and it is this limiting belief that often adds months and sometimes even years to the home buying process. So if you can purchase a home with less than a 20% down payment, why aren't more people doing just that? One answer: private mortgage insurance. Freddie Mac defines PMI, private mortgage insurance, as an insurance policy that protects the lender if you are unable to pay your mortgage. It's a monthly fee rolled into your mortgage payment that is required for all conforming conventional loans that have a down payment less than 20%. Once you've built equity of 20% in your home, you can cancel your PMI and remove that expense from your mortgage payment, unquote. As the borrower, you pay the monthly premiums for the insurance policy, and the lender is the beneficiary. The monthly cost of your PMI depends on your home's value, the amount of your down payment, and your credit score. I shared a table earlier today talking about where some of these numbers fall in, but a monthly mortgage payment for a $250,000 home with a 3% down payment and PMI versus a 20% down payment without PMI, you're talking about a $300 difference in the monthly payment. The first thing you see when you look at that table that I posted earlier today is about $300, $20 a month you'd be spending on your monthly mortgage. The second thing is that 20% down payment is $50,000. If you're buying your first home, $50,000 is a large sum of money that takes discipline and sacrifice to save. Even if you're buying your second home, $50,000 is a large sum of money that takes discipline and sacrifice to save. If you're buying your third home, do you get the idea? Regardless, $50,000 is a lot of money. Many first-time buyers save for 5 to 10 years before buying their homes. To save $50,000 in 10 years, you need to save about $420 per month. $420 a month. Are you able to do that? If so, why aren't you doing it? Because in our country, we don't have people that have saved $420 a month. So that's the issue right there. Could you afford a $3,000 down payment in less than a year? Well, go talk to your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, dad, aunt, uncle. Same $250,000 home. And I know that there are places in Southern California that you can pay $250,000. Not in La Jolla, not in Newport Beach, but we see them all the time. Riverside, San Bernardino, Temecula, Indio. There's places out there. Do you have to drive a little further? Yes. But $250,000, 3% down, $6,000, $7,000, it works. And then what happens is your property appreciates and you're ready to go into that next home, bigger home, because you can save that $50,000 in a matter of about 5 years historically. And now you've got the money to go into that next bigger home. Again, do that same thing, $50,000, roll it over into a $500,000 house with mortgage insurance, and you're still able to continue that growth pattern. It's all about the process. It's all about the game plan. And you got to talk to great partners. And I talk about your household board of directors. That is going to include a real estate professional. They come right after you talk to a lender and set up a game plan so that when you get in touch with the real estate professional, you walk into them and you say, hey, Brent, I just spoke to Ron and his team says that I can go out and I can afford a $427,000 house with 3% down. I have an underwriter's approval. You can make a cash offer or a same as cash offer. Can we get in the car and go see it? Now, people like Brent are going to say, God, you're already approved. Why wouldn't I show it to you? Because they know that you've already done your homework. That's the idea. That's why you work as a team and you get your CPA involved and you get your tax people involved, an insurance agent, right? It's a team. You don't have to be out on that island on your own getting advice from the guy next door who's been renting for the last 55 years. Probably not the place to get your advice. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. We are chatting with Brent Humpherys this morning, Humpherys Homes and Estates, and we're talking about a work-life balance. Now, Brent, you put in our notes for this morning how to succeed in real estate, and I'm going to submit in many, many industries this works.
Oh, absolutely. Just
right?
The examples are different. But
right, their
yep.
examples are different and the processes are different. But tell me, I kind of chuckle because I had somebody last week say to me that they wanted to meet with me on, I think it was Tuesday night. And I said I couldn't meet with them on Tuesday night because I had a prior engagement. It's been on the calendar for about 5,700 years. Right? It's a Jewish holiday and I take that holiday off. I don't work. And, we couldn't do it based on that's been a long time, obviously.
Sure.
Now, one of the things that you're able to take advantage of today that you couldn't do when you started was there's a huge difference in technology today than when you got into the industry in the early 50s.
My family got in the 60s, but
okay.
No, technology really helps. Look, it begins having satisfied clients, and I have only 5-star reviews on all sites.
Right.
This is my 18th year. That's hard to do because
sure.
we take the hit if anything goes wrong. The lender, the moving company,
right.
something breaks, and whatever. You set the proper expectation. You let your clients know up front, I'm not going to work on Sundays. Am I the right fit? And so you only work with people that respect that. But the problem becomes that in real estate, where you're a public servant and people call on properties that you have listed, and people fly into where I'm based, San Diego, and want to look at properties, is 7 days a week you're going to get telephone calls from people that don't know that that's the way you work.
Sure.
And so the magic is letting them know through technology. So it begins with, if you send me a text after hours and on Sundays, in the cloud, so my phone can be off and this will still happen. smartphone off. I'm glued to my phone 66 hours a day, or 66 hours a week, Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and I'm off on Sundays. Messages will be seen and responded to the following day. So if a complete stranger messages me and asks what the price of 123 Main Street is, they're going to know, well, I'm not going to get the answer till tomorrow. Now, not everybody's happy with an autoresponder, but they're not going to go off on you typically if they were at least made, you gave them constructive evidence.
Yeah, you've told them exactly what to expect, right? I mean, because if the industry standard, even in your case, the workday standard is a response in 5 minutes or something, because I know you always respond extremely quick.
Thank you.
Right? And you don't get that response, then those of us that know you would say, "Are you okay?" Right? Is there something physically wrong with you? Or you're going to look in the responder in the technology world. The technology sets that expectation, so we know, hey, if I have to have an answer now, I got to go somewhere else.
Right, and many times people just Google it. People will just Google it. Many of my calls, I've never really tracked it, but it seems like the majority of my calls are agents asking obvious questions in the multiple listing service. Literally.
Okay.
How many bedrooms? Right? You don't get that one as much because it's really spelled out. But I can put full bed and bath downstairs, and they'll call. I've got this family, and they've got their elderly mother living with them, and she needs a bedroom downstairs, and it's in the listing. Now I have to be gracious, right? So I want to be a gracious person. I don't want to say, "Have you read the listing, you schmuck?" That's awful. But a lot of these questions are then automatically answered because people then go back and say, "Well, okay, I'm not going to get them on Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning or Sunday night. I'll go in and I'll look it up myself." Or, "Can I go show the property tomorrow at 3? They see that you're closed, and so they go into the multiple listing service, and under showing instructions, text the seller with 30 minutes notice, and then show up. And they go, okay. So I'm here to submit, and not disrespectfully to my peers, because we all have to get along, and I love my peers, but a lot of calls in real estate are not necessary.
And that's the whole issue, and I'll say it straight out because I'm not a realtor.
Yeah, but you're a lender. You have to work with the same people I do.
I do, but you know something? I'm just straight out there, and I say it. There's a lot of agents out there that I wouldn't want to trust my worst enemy's property to, right? Sure. And the bottom line is you've got to do your due diligence to find out who that is, because you don't have the access to some of the same tools that those in the insiders, so to speak, do, the MLS, and looking at what is an agent's history, and every agent's the best agent in the world until you look up and say, well, they've done one transaction in the last 2 years, and it was a $150,000 house, and that now they're telling you that they're qualified to help you buy an $800,000 house.
That happened to me this month. I was on an interview, and it went really, really well. Went for 2 hours. I left, and I saw the other agent pull up, and there was a cell number in the license plate frame, and I Googled it. And sure enough, I then looked in the MLS. They hadn't sold a home in 2 years, but they came in dressed to the nines, the BMW and all that, and made this big ta-da, but it's public record.
Yeah, you got to do your homework. And like you said, it is public record, so find that out. We're going to talk more with Brent Humpherys about this. What do you do the other 6 days if you're off on Sunday? What happens in an emergency? Well, how's that going to work? And do you hire someone else to fill your shoes? We'll talk about that as well, because there might be some answers, there might be some guidance there. And is a fixer-upper home worth the investment? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Is a fixer-upper home worth the investment? There is a one-word answer to this, and it works every single time. Actually, it's two words. It depends. So now we can move right along. No, I guess I better go a little deeper in that, right? Buying a fixer-upper home is currently a popular investment in the housing market, especially since lower-priced houses increase housing confidence in some buyers. On one hand, it's a great way to purchase a home below market value and sell it for more than you paid. On the other hand, it often seems to be more work than people anticipate, and sometimes the final product doesn't end up being worth as much time, effort, and money as put into it. So is a fixer-upper home worth it? The answer depends on a variety of factors in your current situation. Thankfully, we have a list of pros and cons, as well as tips and recommendations if you decide to fixer-upper home is the right decision. First off, you're going to have more creative leeway. You can decide what places in the home you want to spend more money. Opportunity to make the home worth a great deal more than you paid, maybe. And you can flip the home for more money, maybe. Fixer-upper homes are typically 8% below market value. You pay less in property taxes because they are calculated based on your home's sale price. The cons: most fixer-uppers are not move-in ready. Renovations are costly. And I'm going to share this one with you, and I'm not going to go through the whole list because there's two things here. Number one, don't watch those do-it-yourself at home shows. Those are all fixed. Those are, what do they call it, artistic liberty, right? You can't buy a house in 30 minutes, fix it up, and resell it all within 30 minutes. Does not work. And then there's one of those shows, if you watch enough of them, and I don't binge watch them, I just laugh at them. You watch enough of them and you'll see, I didn't realize there was going to be unexpected expenses Now, I don't do this a lot. I've done some fixing up of properties. I'm not handy. I don't know what end of a screwdriver to use. I can figure out business. There are always unexpected events. Brent, have you ever done a real estate transaction that did not have anything that was unexpected?
No.
Right? I mean, so budget for it. I mean, if it's going to happen, just put it in the budget and say, you know something? I put in an extra 5%, 10%. When you do a renovation loan, we put in 15% extra for unexpected expenses, right? It's just the way it is. Get a good inspector to go in there that knows what they're doing. Find out if you need permits, and find out if you can do it yourself or you need to have contractors do it, and talk about the financing options. Those are all part of the program. That's the Word on Wealth segment, again brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. We are talking about work-life balance and being successful in that process. Chatting with Brent Humpherys, Humpherys Homes and Estates. He is the living example of this process. So,
You're
Brent,
too kind.
Well, you know something, it's admirable, Brent, because you've made a decision, a family decision, and you said, you know something, if it is good for my business, great. If it's not good for my business, this is our family priority. Mm-hmm. And you've disclosed it, so there's no client that can ever come back and say, you know, we got a shock, right? There's going to be other shocks but that's not going to be one of them. That, hey, you know something, if it's Sunday, we're not going to talk to Brent. Right? We either have to figure out, we're going to call 911 if there's a fire, because Brent can't help us with that anyway.
It's a great number to have.
Right? I mean,
it's a great number.
So let me ask you this. Do you find that, we already talked earlier in the broadcast, that it's not like it costs any money not to work on the day, right? I mean, because people realize that they respect it. Do you have it on your website and things like that?
I was going to mention that. So yeah, in addition to technology and autoresponders, you can do an out-of-office responder on your email. Your voicemail greeting can say, my office hours are, and you can give the Monday through Saturday. But Google Places, right?
Right.
I mean, I went out and hired this company out of New York to put me on 300 or 400 actual brick and mortar sites with address and hours and everything, and linking back and all that fun stuff. And I can push out hours, like holiday hours and what have you, and it updates all the sites. So when the member of the public who has no idea who you are Googles you and comes across your information, they will know as well.
Okay, good.
So you're not necessarily upsetting people if they leave a message and say, why didn't I hear back from the schmuck?
Yeah, exactly. And so what about the other days of the week? Does that mean you have to work harder the other days?
Yes, that's actually the answer. The key is, I mean, some people say, well, how in the world, I've had fellow agents say to me, my clients would never, ever permit that. But if you work so doggone hard, you should work so hard the other 6 days that your clients demand that you take a day off.
Interesting.
You should. I hope this is coming. This is just my heart. I don't know how
I
it's
get
coming
it.
across. But
I get it. I just wondered. It just intrigues me that your clients would demand that. So that part of it, I just find. But because I know how hard you work. I mean, obviously we've. Full disclosure, Brent's represented my family in a couple of different transactions and done tremendous work. So, I know from both being a business partner and him being a guest on the radio program, but I also know from him representing us on a couple of transactions that we sold that, the process works. Right? It's not like we got less money for the properties that we sold. We got top of market for them. Right? I mean, more than what was anticipated. And, heck, full disclosure, my mom at one time said, God, I get a call from Brent every day, it seems like. Right? I mean, but that's not bad or not good, it's just what is.
Yeah. She wasn't complaining that I was calling.
No, but what I'm saying is it's just the dedication to realize that, especially, because a lot of people think that in real estate, you put a sign in the ground, you sell the house, and you get a big commission.
That's what people think, yeah.
Right? And it's not reality.
It's not.
It's a real business just like any other. And I would submit that there's very few people that are working 66 hours a week.
They're not.
In any industry, right? But in real estate, I put the sign in there. I went and did an open house for 3 hours, and man, am I tired. I got to go home and take a nap. It doesn't work that way.
Nope, it doesn't. And I'm actually cutting my hours. I decided this week it's now going to be 8 to 6 Monday through Saturday. So I'm going to get an extra 6 hours a week to be with the family. But look at this. Across the country, right, there are marriages in ruin. And if you think about the fact that, think about a marriage where one of the spouses is a workaholic. Religious reasons.
I resemble that remark.
Religious reasons, non-religious. Let's just suppose that one of the spouses came home and said, "Honey, I've decided I'm going to take one day off every single week and be with you." What do you think that would do to the marriage?
Fascinating. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have a 70% first-time divorce rate in Orange County, California if people did that.
Yeah.
Might go higher in certain instances. I know people that have said at retirement age, for better or for worse, but not for lunch, go find something to do. What about emergencies, Brent? How do you deal with that?
Good. Well, probably, I would estimate more than 80% of my emergency calls are problems at the lockbox.
Okay.
Now, across the country, the two main lockbox providers are SentryLock and Supra, and both of whom have an 800 toll-free number where if there's any, that's nice, an 800 toll-free, what is toll-free? We don't even have long distance anymore. Sorry, I'm dating myself. You can call a toll-free number and speak with someone and get a code to the box. Now, what if the box is jammed? What if the agent put the key in and the key ring's there and they stuck the steel, drawer back into the thing and it jammed? Well, there's a solution for that too. I put dual lock boxes on virtually all my properties. So if for instance, in Orange County, in LA, in San Bernardino County, in Riverside County, they use Supra, and there's no way to generate a code. So unless you're there with a Bluetooth, connected smartphone, you can't open that box. So what do you do if the box jams? What if you need a key? You put a San Diego box from SentryLock on there where you can remotely generate a code so that the agent has a second box to get a key. I had an agent do an open house for me on Sunday, locked herself out of the house, left her purse inside, the door closed, she couldn't get back in. But by having a second box on there and giving them a code in advance, hey, if there's a problem, enter 9264128#. That's a made-up number, right? Don't go trying this at home. All of a sudden, she's, Sally's back in the house. So if you know what the emergencies are, plan ahead. 911's a great number.
Solves the problem. That's the idea. That's what you get paid for, is solving problems. And as always, I appreciate that. That's some great information. If you want to talk to a great real estate agent in the San Diego market, and I guess, Brent, you go all over nowadays, but
5 counties year to date.
5 counties. Brent Humpherys, Humpherys Homes and Estates, and also set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today, and of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.